Micron there, leading from the front, saying we are going to be the first company perhaps to set up a semiconductor fab in India. What sort of timeline are we looking at?
Right. So Micron is pretty hopeful that by December 2024, the manufacturing facility would be up and running, and I think the production of these fabs, and by the time they are churned out, could be another couple of months or so. But yeah, Micron, I think the numbers have come in. The numbers are pretty impressive. We're talking about $2.7 billion worth of the first investment, the first factory which would be owned and operated by Micron, to be set up at $2.7 billion. Now remember, interestingly, how the PLI, not DLI, the PLI functions here is that Micron's own investment is just about $875 million or so. Not even $1 billion for a $2.7 billion plant to be set up, because now it's not just the central government's PLI scheme which is doing a $1 to $50% investment. Now even the state of Gujarat is saying that it's going to make its own investment into this Micron plant to whatever tune of, I think, $400–500 million worth, to offset the investment required by Micron to quickly have its its factory up and running. So I think we are talking very easily about putting skin in the game here. We are not saying that, hey, come invest in India, but the risk is all yours and the reward you will have to share with us in form of GST or employment or GDP growth for India. I think India is beginning to understand that as a government, both central and state government, you've got to have your own skin in the game. And if you have your skin in the game, you will want to ensure that any project that gets set up in India will be able to run smoothly without bureaucratic hurdles, will be able to operate in a way that confines to all the rules of the law. And more than anything else, you will also have perhaps a seat on the board or a say in the matters of operations. So both by way of financial incentivization, by really discounting, I mean, you're talking about almost 70% of the investment into the Micron coming from the government of India and the government of Gujarat, the central government and the state government, and only 30% of the investment coming from Micron. And Micron, incidentally, is among the largest chip makers in the world. And it started off by saying that it wants to assemble in India and package in India. I think with a mouth-watering investment of only 30%, it may want to bring a lot more business into India to actually design and manufacture those fabs as well. So Micron sets the tone pretty much, and the government is hopeful. In fact, again, Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar stating quite candidly that we are looking at least another 2 big announcements to happen between the months of October and November this year. So Micron is not alone in this journey to manufacture semiconductors in India. There are likely to be another 2, and earlier he had stated that we are looking at least 6 manufacturing units to be up and running in calendar year 24. So by next year, you should have about 6 semiconductor units operating in India.
Okay, that's a big number. 6 semiconductor fabs likely by 2025 or 2024 is the target set by the government. Government, of course, incentivizing, not just by the way of PLI, but also DLI now, giving more and more benefits and always rolling out a red carpet, in speaking in the parlance of this government, rolling a red carpet and cutting down on red tapeism as far as semiconductor market is concerned.